Welcome to my bewitching podcast, where I take you on a journey to initiate you into the mysteries and pleasures of all things magical and more. I'm Julie Nelson, Rich Witch, botanical perfumer, astrologer, and creator of the Fragrant Oracle. I'll discuss a myriad of topics passionately on women rising unapologetically, witchcraft, including spells, rituals, insightful astrology updates, and oracle card readings. I'll also introduce you to special guests who share their bountiful knowledge and experience in the art of witchcraft, the intuitive and healing arts, and being wildly unapologetic. Today's divine goddess has long been revered and reserved for the elite and for sovereignty. Cacao assists you in unlock hidden yearning and connecting with the deepest aspect of your soul. Her Scorpio energy, and along with Venus and Lilith, activates and unleashes your sacred sexual spirit. She speaks, "I am witch of the irresistible, and I offer you a magic that is not found any." What invisible obstructions are preventing you from receiving your deepest desire? Are you ready to open your heart so that you more easily tap into your élan vital? There is freedom when you allow your magic to guide you. When we meet, I dance. Hear my sacred cantation. Embrace pleasure and merriment in your life. You are the magic. You are the seductor. And I will always remind you that life is for loving and embracing with freedom. I am here to enhance your creative expression, to inspire you and unleash your seductress, manifest with ease and empowerment. Here I share some affirmations to magnify your personal magic. I am magic. I am wildly enchanting. I am deeply magical. I love my bold and sexy life. I open my heart to receive all that is for my highest. I am unwavering, authentic self. Welcome back to our Rich Witch podcast, and this is Julie Nelson, and I'm here today. We have a beautiful magical witch priestess here with us today, Alissandra Moon, and to make it easier, I'm going to hand it over to her to introduce herself, perhaps tell us what your mission is, Alissandra, and then we'll come back and talk about what we are going to talk about today, or introduce that. So handing over to you for an introduction, my love.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Julie. It's such a pleasure to be here. Yes, so I'm Priestess Alissandra Moon. I am head witch of Raven Moon Academy, and it's my mission to help people be reunited with their soul, their purpose, and really heal and empower themselves so that they can create the life that they deserve and desire through walking the path of the witch.
Oh, yeah, and so aligned with me. We may use different words, but absolutely. And for me, the big thing is, yes, women coming back to the source of their being and rising unapologetically in their truth, which I feel is like tapping into the energy of Lilith, whom I love.
Yes.
Yeah, you get it, don't you?
Absolutely.
We've got big
Just got
smiles
chills.
here. Yeah, and chills. It's powerful, powerful. And what we thought we would talk about today is really some inner healing when we're working with the craft. And for me, witchcraft is a lifestyle. I
Yeah.
don't consider it a religion. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Alessandra, but for me, it's a lifestyle of honoring all that is. And we have to, before we move into the magical aspect, the manifesting and the spells and the ceremony and all those luscious things, it's really important for us to come back to ourselves and do that inner healing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I think that we'll be able to weave in some tips and how you can do that. And of course, as always, as you're listening to this or when you're finished listening to it, feel free to comment below in the comment section in the show notes, because we're happy to come back and answer questions, and perhaps there'd be enough questions that we even do another podcast on it. So let's see how it flows. And I'm going to hand you over to the beautiful Alessandra to, let's get this conversation started, beautiful.
Thank you. Yes, I completely agree with and resonate deeply with everything that you've just said. And I feel that this path in itself, when done properly, it automatically triggers that inner work and that inner journey. And I know well, speaking for myself, it has saved my life. I would not be here right now, and I certainly would not be doing as well as I am, given my history. But this is a topic I am so deeply passionate about, and to see the transformations in women when they do this. But as you said, it helps with the magic as well. Like, it has its own benefits, and just feeling amazing and being in your true power, raising your vibration, it causes you to be able to manifest things so much faster. So instead of it taking weeks or months, it's just bang, bang, bang. Because
Yep.
of that high vibration, everything's moving, but your power, your energy can flow through you so much easier. But knowing who you truly are, and this is something that so many women especially are struggling with because of the oppression and all of the patriarchal BS, which on the look on your face, I know that this is something that affects you deeply as well. We lose ourselves. We forget who we are. We become the mother, the wife, the worker, the employee, what, like all of these things. But to find who we truly are, what we truly desire, our feelings, our fears, our hopes and dreams, it is paramount to being able to do successful, powerful magic, because all of those subconscious things can affect and interfere with our magic. So, yes.
I absolutely am with you on that. One of the reasons for this podcast is for us to be able to be in our truth, speak our truth about the suppression and oppression of women. And I've mentioned this a few times with conversations I've had with women that I have, you know, done recordings with so far. And it is how, like, as women over the decades, we have been rising back up. However, my feelings are now that patriarchy and religions, certain religions, are fighting back.
Mm-hmm.
And so now more than ever, it's really important for us to stand up and to be able to do this. That inner healing is absolutely essential.
Yes.
And I too believe that my living this lifestyle as a witch has given me the opportunity to heal so much. And also with the continuing struggle and challenges that keep popping up in my life and so many other women's lives, people in general, but we're focused on women here, that my values and my beliefs and my ethics and being a practicing witch is keeping me in my power,
Yeah.
because I continue to work with myself. So I've been a witch all my life. I have been 30 years of fully practicing it and bringing it into my business. And because of that, I'm almost, I don't want this to sound wrong, but it's almost like I have to practice what I preach. And it's not hard. This is easy for me. What's hard for me is living that mundane,
Mm.
stinky life. I mean,
Yeah.
and I won't be holding back with swearing, so don't worry about it. I'm well known. My favorite word is fucking. I use it all the time. So you don't have to hold back, Alessandra.
Great.
And swearing is not to offend anybody. It's basically a fabulous way to express ourselves. So yeah, that's how it is. So some of the things, like I have some tools that I use myself. We've got all of the affirmations and journaling and all of those tools and practices that many people do. And I think they're fabulous. I know that for some people they struggle, they don't work for them. And for me, just to start with, I want to say, if you don't believe they're going to work for you, they're not going to work for you. So again, that's part of the inner healing and trusting yourself. And I've said this many times, and I'm going to repeat it, for that inner healing, coming to a place of self-love
Mm-hmm.
is key. And my formula is that now we've got to do the healing and the work to get to that point, which we can talk about. However, when we're in that place of self-love, we then have self-worth, more confidence, we become more magnetic or attractive, which equals being a bodacious manifester.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk a little bit about self-love? What is
Abs-
it and how can we reach it?
For sure, for sure. Again, this is something I'm super passionate about as well.
Mm.
And it's one of those things that gets thrown around a lot. You got to love yourself more. But how? It's easier said than done,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you've got trauma and you've been put down your whole life and told you're worthless and all of these things. So, it first comes with being able to just see yourself and meet yourself where you're at and work through some releasing and come to a point of acceptance. Start with
Mm.
the self acceptance and, just I am me. I have worked with what I have had and done the best that I could given the circumstances. And then you're going to move up to some self respect. Once you
Mm-hmm.
respect yourself, then you can dive deeper into that. Again, getting to know yourself more, treating yourself as you wish other people would treat you, or how
Mm-hmm.
you treat other people. Because for most of us, especially women, there's no way we would treat other people the way we treat ourselves, or say the things that we say to ourselves. You know,
True.
and so
True.
working through that, you can gradually work up to self-love. And I look at it as it's like any relationship. You don't just dive straight in and get married and you're in love, and no, you get to know the person and you
Yeah.
build a relationship, and it's the same with ourselves. So,
Can I
you
just say sorry? I was laughing because I was pulling a face at the thought of being in a partnership again. So my apologies, because I was really screwing my face up and then burst out
yeah.
laughing. Continue on, Alissandra.
No, that's fine. And I think on that as well, there are so many. Like, I know for a fact, if I were to get divorced, I wouldn't be looking for another relationship.
Mm,
We get to the point where when we know and love ourselves, we give ourselves the love that we were seeking.
yeah.
We don't need that external validation and affection, approval, because we have it within ourselves. And that's why I think people like yourself and me and others, we are so devoted to helping people to find that, because it's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Oh, it's powerful, powerful, powerful. So I'm quite a bit older than you, and each decade that I've moved through, I get more and more empowered. And I'm in my 60s now. And when I hit 60, it was like a switch turned on. And it was like, I don't give a fuck about people that don't like me or things that are not good for the world and for ourselves. I do give a fuck about what is for the highest good of all and myself. And that's what, for me, being a witch is love, honoring, and respecting myself and all that is. And I'm not going to go down this path right now, but I have these other conversations that I'll be having about forgiveness and judgment, because they're not quite what they're made out to be, in my opinion. So they're going to be some coming up in my Righteous Rage mini series that will be weaved into this. So yes, and so I remember when you said it triggered a memory of mine. I remember as a teenager, because I was bullied very badly, and physically and verbally, because I was a little mouse. I wasn't at home, but I was out in public. You wouldn't know it now, because I'm very unapologetic in my truth and speaking up, because that's my right. And I'm not there to harm anybody. I'm just simply, and it's not even a just, I am standing in my truth unapologetically. And this is where I want to see women come into. And there is so much fear about being judged, about not being liked. And I remember when oh my gosh, I remember this so well. When I was in my late teens, more likely, someone said to me, when, get, what was it? Now I've forgotten. It's like something about when you love yourself and know yourself. And I remember thinking, how do I do that?
Mm.
What do I, what does that mean? I just didn't have a comprehension of that. And I realized that I didn't love myself. I didn't think I was worthy. And it's been a big journey, a big healing journey. And I have no doubt that I will continue to heal old wounds, even ancestral wounds, for the rest of my life. And each time I move through something, I become stronger. And that's how I see other women like yourself and the women in my community. We keep getting better and better. And as you said, it's about acceptance. And the first thing, even before that, for me, is acknowledgement.
Yes.
If we haven't acknowledged that we're in that space of, you know, oh shit, do I really love myself? What am I worthy of? Like really listen to your inner talk and the language that you speak. One of my favorite sayings is our thoughts, feelings, and words are our wand. They create our reality. And it
Yes.
really is true, isn't it, Alissandra? Because thought becomes energy, which becomes matter.
Yep.
So let's go back to that and maybe some simple techniques. And I'm going to invite our listeners to be patient because we may speak about things that they think might be BS. And I'm just going to say this right now. I despise the word woo-woo. We are not woo-woo. We are women, empowered women. And I don't like using that word in my vocabulary. I really detest it. So I want that. This is not a fad. This is not a game. This is not ego. This is absolutely loving ourselves and owning it so that we can rise and we can stand in our power and we won't be oppressed or suppressed. So I'm going to start off with some affirmations. And the reason I'm starting off with that, and I know a lot of people can be resistant to them, and this started for me back in 1988. I had my beautiful daughter who was born with a life-threatening condition, and then at 6 months young, she was diagnosed with a second life-threatening condition and never knew if she was going to live or die. Well, I'm happy to say she's 35 this year. So one of the things that I started doing, a friend gave me the old book, it's well known, called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And one of the biggest takeaways for me from that book was no matter what choices we make, they're never wrong. And because from every choice, we have the opportunity to learn and grow, which becomes a choice.
Yeah.
Right. So if we think we've done something wrong, we can choose to believe that that was wrong and we should never have done it. Or we can look at it and go, you know what? What can I learn from this? This is where growth and self-love can start. And I spent about 2 to 3 hours. I was a single mum. While my daughter was in bed, every night I wrote affirmations. I was dedicated to it. And I actually, to be honest with you, didn't know a huge amount about affirmations, but I loved this book. It wasn't renty and it wasn't all hyped. I found it to be quite simple and easy to move through. And honestly, spending, at least 2 years every night writing affirmations, and while we were living in hospital or when my daughter was in bed at night or whenever she slept, which wasn't very often, that's what I did because I didn't have a lot of energy to do much else other than take care of her. And that was another thing of neglecting myself and another podcast topic. So I'm going to say that affirmations are extremely powerful, and to be able to tap into them is to dedicate that time and not expect everything to just happen. We have to get to a place for that. And it's trusting. Yeah. And even one of my most simple favorite affirmations is I love, I am loved. Yeah, I love, I am loved. Oh my God, now I've forgotten it and I'm just going to have to look it up. Isn't that crazy? It's 3. I've missed one. poo. Let me find this while you have a
Well, it's
chat.
always the way, though, isn't it? You can say it over and over again, but then as soon as you consciously need to remember it. But I think that's the power of the affirmations, though, because the subconscious mind is so much more powerful than the conscious mind, and so it's implanting these things into the subconscious. And beliefs, all they are is just the things that we say to ourselves over and over and over again.
Yep.
By
Yep.
doing that with affirmations, you are going to believe it. You're going to override the negative self talk, the negative beliefs with these positive things, and I could go into the science of it, but I won't. But
I'm
it
going
does.
to go into a little bit of the science of it with perfumery. And just as I started to look up my words, I remembered them. So it's I love, I am love, I am loved.
Yes, beautiful.
And it's simple and it's powerful. And there is that point where even if you don't believe it, you keep doing it. You keep writing it, you keep saying it, stand in the front of the mirror. Or, I used to, when I lived up north in the Northern Rivers, I had all these cows adjusted behind me, behind my horses, my unicorns.
Yeah.
And I had my beautiful big boy dog. He was a Great Dane Cross, and we used to walk in the paddocks with the cows. I used to take my neighbor's little 2-year-old, and we used to say affirmations, and we'd be going,
Oh.
I am amazing. I am beautiful. I am love. I am powerful. I am everything that I need to be. And the cows used to look, my dog used to look, and little Isla would walk through me. And I did that with her for 3 years.
Wow.
And whenever she was down, I'd say, come on, let's talk some affirmations. You are the most amazing person in the world. And it was powerful, and being in nature and doing it as well. And I used to have kind of a giggle about it. I do it a lot in my car,
Mm.
and I love to write them at night more than through the day. I can get into them. And I use them a lot in my 21-day challenges. So for me, affirmations are very powerful, and a little bit of the science in it. And I'm going to give you a beautiful, simple ritual using essential oils or natural perfumery. So what happens is that, and a lot of people know this, when we're repeating something like that and a powerful intention, as if it is, we're actually retraining the brain to create new neural pathways, right? So what happens, and you need to keep doing it to keep strengthening those neural pathways. And then what happens is we've got an area of the brain called the RAS, the reticular activating system. And that starts to set us in motion on a physiological way, and it brings things to our attention. So, for example, if you wanted to, what's something I want to do? I always say this, and I don't necessarily care if I have it or not, but it's just I love Mustangs, and I'm not
Oh.
big on having fancy cars, to be honest with you, but I love black Mustangs with a soft top. And then if that was what you truly desired, and you started talking as if you had it, you are going to start seeing black Mustangs
Uh-huh.
driving on the road or in car, sales yards. It's incredible. If you want to fall pregnant and have a baby, you start seeing pregnant women everywhere. Or I don't watch TV, but you might start seeing ads and that come up. So that's how your reticular activating system works. And then the perfume ritual is choose intuitively or your favorite essential oil, and you use the same smell for each, a specific intention. So, for example, I'm going to use love as self-love, And rose essential oil, it's the highest of vibrations of all plants. Love is the highest of vibrations. And so therefore, hence talking about self-love, it's the highest vibration, so we can attract. And honestly, you'll find that people just want to be around you. You are a magnet. And so what you can do is on your wrist, anoint a drop of rose oil, and then you might gently push your two wrists together, hold them up to your nose, inhale, imagine that moving through your body into your heart chakra, and then you speak the intention, I love, I am love, I am loved. Then you inhale the rose essential oil on your wrists again. And that is anchoring into your limbic brain, your intention. Then what happens is, now this might happen after one, I call it a mini ritual, or it might take a few, but when you just start smelling rose at any time, or you feel you need to tap into that intention, those words will be activated in the front lobe of your brain.
Yeah.
Which helps to strengthen the neural pathways and create new neural pathways. So that's a beautiful, beautiful ritual.
Yes.
What can you say, priestess?
I absolutely love that. And anchors, all kinds of anchors, I think are super powerful, especially for this kind of work and retraining ourselves with our self-talk. So when, like, one that I am really bad with is calling myself an idiot when I do stupid things. So being aware, being conscious of that. But a lot of people do things like they'll have the elastic band around and flick themselves every time they do it. So it's, it's negative thought, negative.
Yeah, I've done that. It fucking hurts.
It definitely does.
Worked.
Well, that's exactly right. And so you can do that, but you could also do it in a positive way. So when you catch yourself, what do you want to believe instead? So I dropped something like, oh, you fucking idiot, you stupid woman, or whatever. No, very important, this part, I neutralize that.
Yes.
Neutralizing those words, because as we're speaking those words, feeling the emotion, putting that energy out there, we're manifesting this. We're telling the universe this is what we want, this is what we are. We're reinforcing those beliefs. So we need to neutralize that. And if you like, even imagine a big red X just crossing it out, or see the words dissolve. Okay. Then replace it with something positive. So, no, I'm an intelligent, wise, powerful woman. I'm an intelligent, wise, powerful woman. And say it multiple times. Now, if you want to make this even more powerful, similar to what Julie mentioned about anchoring it with the scent, which is phenomenal, because scent is often one of our most powerful senses, and it triggers memories better than anything. Especially for me, my husband calls me the sniffer dog. But if you can, like, you don't have to do it at the time when you've just said something if you don't have the time, but when you're trying to reprogram something, if you can play a really emotive song, something that just really brings up that power and emotion in you, you can feel it pulsing through your veins, and then move your body. So you're connecting with the emotions, with the physical, with everything. It's tying it all together. All right. So what I like to do is I have either some sort of something I want to manifest or a new belief that I want to reprogram, I'll play my song and I'll do my little hand weights, or I'll do squats, or I'll do something physical. So it's actually putting it into my physical body, right? And that just really cements it in there because you're tying it in with the emotion and everything else. But yeah, honestly, there are so many different things that I could share with this. But what about you, Jo? I thought that one just sort of tied into what you were talking about with the anchors. So
Yeah, and imagine bringing them both together. I love music and dancing. And it raises my vibration. I get on a natural high with it. And yes, absolutely. The thing is to be able to catch ourselves speaking something unhelpful, and it's quite toxic to us
yeah,
because it sits in our cells and our energy in our body. So being able to grab that, catch it, and flip it around. Yeah. Another good exercise, and this will be the last one that I share, is, and I use this as well, is if you get a piece of A4 paper and put a line down the middle of it and write A, B, C, D, right down to Z on one, a line. And then time yourself, give yourself 5 minutes, and it might be I am or I feel, and you've got to write a positive word, the first thing that comes to your mind to do with the alphabet. So it might be, I used to play this with a friend and I love it. And we used to cheat. Not supposed to cheat. And some of the letters towards the end can be really tricky to come up with a word. So we used to make up words too. But what it did was it raised, we would just laugh. And it's a great thing you can do with a family or friends, or if you've got your witches circle or
actually making
community.
a note of it right now because I think it's fantastic.
It is brilliant. And my friend actually created some cards, but they're not available
Oh,
anymore. And I used to do them in lives on my group, which I must get back to. So I'm going to run through off the top of my head a few because I've had so much practice. So I'm going to say, I feel. I might slip into I am. It doesn't matter. What you can do is have I feel in one column and I am in another. I also would do it for personal and also for my business.
right,
So as
excellent.
if I was my business.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I am audacious. I am beautiful. I am caring. I feel delighted. I feel extraordinary. I am fucking fabulous. That was 2 words. You're only supposed to use one, but I always use that one because I love it. Or I am a fucking goddess.
Yes.
And so I am tenacious. I feel sexy. So it's really powerful, and you just keep doing it. And honestly, it's fun. You laugh, and just that process actually raises your vibration. Now, when you first do it, it can be a little bit triggering, which I've had clients because sometimes I take them through it and it might trigger them a little bit. And it's like, okay, and if you get stuck, keep going, don't stay. And what happens is you just get better, and better at it to become like so easy. And it's fun. Think of it as fun. So if you come to like I am love, or I feel loved. And I like to kind of put a bit of passion into my voice because, it's like feeling it, and it really is fabulous. So if you feel triggered by saying the word I love myself, just keep moving through it, keep repeating, and have some fun. Like I said, have some fun with it. Make it a game. That's what what we used to do. So that's two beautiful tips from me. And Alessandra's given a very powerful tip. Do you want to share anything else, my love?
I just want to say that I absolutely love that. And
It's awesome, isn't it?
I can't wait to do that with my students actually. So we've been doing a lot of self work and shadow work. A big part of my 12-month program is a lot of the self work. But on that note, I will mention doing some shadow work. However, it's something again that's everyone saying, do this, do this, do this, all online. But I do recommend you, if you're going to go deep into it, get some support from someone professional.
Yes.
Don't do it on your own. It can be quite harmful.
It can send you on a spiral downwards. So that's a really good point, Alessandra.
Absolutely. But you can do some basic things because, we want to be filling ourselves with love and light and beautiful things. But something that I use, a metaphor or analogy in a lot of things that I teach is, if you've got this room and you want to redecorate it and make it glorious and beautiful, but it's full of junk, it's full of shit, it's got rats, it's got cat shit, it's got mold.
That's how you're going to feel.
Yeah. And a lot of us, that is what's going on inside of us ultimately, not literally, but I hope.
So do I.
Yeah, but you're not just going to go out and buy paint and paint over the old paint and bring in more furniture and bring in more decorations. You can do that, but all it's going to do is just add more clutter, and you're not going to get the effect. You need to clean it out first. You need to get rid of some of the garbage and the junk and get rid of the rats and kill the bugs and all of the rest of it. And so that's what doing the inner work is. But don't go too deep on your own. Just start with one thing that keeps coming up, keeps bothering you, something that triggers you, and just take a moment to allow yourself to feel and ask, where do I feel this in my body? What do I feel? And if you can keep asking the question, why do I feel this? Where is it coming from? Go as deep as you can, but not to the point of causing yourself extreme distress.
Yes.
But through using breath, allow yourself to dissolve it and release it and replace it with love. I like to breathe in some silvery white light and take it all the way down like a cloud or a puff of smoke, all the way down into my pelvic bowl. And then as I exhale, it fills me and pushes it out, all of this yucky, browny, baby poo colored shit. All of the shit.
Better out than in.
Yeah, exactly. And so just allow yourself to dissolve and release, but ensure you replace that energetic void that's left there. You've got to fill it up with love. Otherwise, you're just going to attract more of the same.
Yes, that's really powerful. And I have actually done a short podcast on energetic hygiene.
Beautiful.
So that's going to be one. This is actually, we could keep talking and talking, and I have no doubt you'll be back here with me, I hope, doing some spells and playing more about and talking more about, keeping ourselves in a higher vibration, because there are quite a few things, and it's really important to nourish and nurture yourself, honor yourself. And from there, then we can move into the next level of being. And then we keep, I like to call it our next evolution. We do the work, we step up into that next evolution, do the work. And sometimes it feels like you're going backwards, and it's not that you're going backwards. It's things will come up, because like in homeopathy, they talk about peeling away the onion layers.
Yeah.
Well, it's something similar. You know, other things will keep coming up, and it simply means that it's being presented to you because it's the next level and you can work through it. So any last words, Alissandra, before we sign off?
Look, just be kind to yourself
Mm-hmm.
and remember that only you can do you. No one else can live for you. No one else can be you. So do yourself proud and just let that freak flag fly and live every moment, because you never know when it could be your last. So love, live.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm going to complete this with. Yes, absolutely. Love yourself up. And that means giving yourself some sacred time every day, which is going to be in come up. And I might just say this now, is that we have been programmed to be busy, 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 busy. And where in fact we can make time to do simple rituals, as Alissandra and I have shared here. And so we invite you to take it on and start with creating yourself 5 minutes a day. That's not a lot to ask. And honestly, me being the lecturer that I am, as in I was a professional lecturer in aromatherapy, if you are not prepared to give yourself that time, you're not ready to grow. So I'll leave you with that thought. And I want to thank you so much, Alissandra. It's been great. I know we could keep talking. And
Yeah.
it's so easy to do, isn't it? Because these
Oh,
topics, witchcraft is very rich, and
yeah.
there's so much in it to share with people. And I will have you back again if you're willing to come back and share the space with me. It would be wonderful. And I will say bye for now, beautiful listeners. And we look forward to you coming back. And also don't forget that Allissandra's details, if you wish to connect with her, will be in the show notes below. So much magic and magical blessings to you, everyone, and to you too, Alissandra.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Same to you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you for joining us on the enchanting journey through the realms of magic, mystique, and self-discovery. I hope you enjoyed our time together on the Rich Witch podcast, where we delve into the depths of witchcraft, astrology, and the unapologetic rise of women. Please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. And as we wrap up, I encourage you to carry the wisdom and magic we've shared into your own life. Embrace the power within you and revel in the beauty of your own unique journey. Stay tuned for more magic, and in the meantime, stay curious and know your magic is a gift to the world. Blessed be, beautiful ones, and remember, the magic is always within you. This is Julie Nelson, signing off.